Hello students, today my topic is on metabolism of VLDL, very low density lipoprotein, and LDL, low density lipoproteins. First, let's see what are the conditions when VLDL is formed. When diet contains more amount of fatty acids and cholesterol than are needed immediately as fuel or as precursors to other molecules, then they are converted to triacylglycerol or cholesterols in the liver and packed with specific lipoproteins into the very low density lipoproteins VLDL. So VLDL is synthesized in the liver and they are known as, here it is known as the endogenous lipids. All the fatty acids, cholesterol, all they form the endogenous lipids as they are synthesized in the liver. Even in excess carbohydrate is there in the diet, that also gets converted to triacylglycerol in the liver and exported as VLDL. Hepatic cholesterol can either be derived from chylomicron remnants. These chylomicron remnants, they form the exogenous pathway. This is through the exogenous pathway. And de novo cholesterol synthesis by hepatocytes. Hepatocytes synthesizes cholesterol. There is a de novo pathway. So that both together form the from which the hepatic cholesterol is derived. When insulin is very high, that is after a meal, VLDL serves primarily to transport lipids from the diet to the adipose tissue for storage. While in fasting condition, that is between the meals, the fatty acid is used to produce VLDL in the liver, which is originated primarily from the adipose tissue. And the principal VLDL target is the heart and muscles. That means VLDL will give the fuel for heart and muscles in fasting condition. The endogenously made triacylglycerol and cholesterol are packed and transported in the form of nascent VLDL. Nascent VLDL, they contain ApoB100. The apolipoprotein is ApoB100. It also has ApoC2 and E. And additional ApoC2 and E are transferred after secretion within the circulation to convert the nascent VLDL to the matured VLDL. So finally, VLDL is formed, which has B100, C2 and E. VLDL is transported in the blood from liver to the muscle adipose tissue. In the capillaries of these tissues, ApoC2 activates the lipoprotein lipase. So lipoprotein lipase, similarly like in chylomicrons, the triacylglycerol of VLDL is hydrolyzed by lipoprotein into fatty acid and glycerol. ApoC2 is then transferred back to HDL while ApoE is retained. There is progressive removal of triacylglycerol. The size of the VLDL will go on shrinking by progressive removal of fatty acid and it will lead to the formation of VLDL remnant. VLDL remnant then go on continuously releasing fatty acid and ultimately it will shrink in size and it is then forms the IDL or intermediate density lipoprotein. So this can also be called as IDL or VLDL remnant. Then the fate of this VLDL remnant or IDL. That is, there is a fraction of this VLDL remnant or IDL is taken up by the liver through this is the LDL receptor. This is mediated by endocytosis. Here ApoB and 100 and E, these two apolipoproteins act as ligand for the LDL receptors, and this IDL is taken up by the liver, and there it is then the cholesterol and triglyceride which is there is then further hydrolyzed into fatty acids. Here only a fraction of IDL will be taken up. The remaining fraction is then converted to LDL, that is low density lipoprotein. This is rich in cholesterol. Majority of LDL is metabolized mainly by the liver. Around approximately 70% of LDL is metabolized by liver, while 30% are metabolized in extrahepatic tissues, particularly those requiring cholesterol for producing steroid hormones and vitamin D synthesis. These LDL receptors on the liver are called as ApoB, ApoE receptor. They are found on most of the cell surfaces, and these receptors have clathrin coated pits. These are clathrin coated pits. I'll show you it in the next slide. This one. This is the LDL receptor, and this is the LDL. And LDL receptor, these are the ApoB, they attach to the ApoB, ApoE receptor. These LDL receptors are having clathrin coated pits, and they are then internalized. These LDL are internalized along with the LDL receptors, and they form the endosomes. And these endosomes then, which is having the LDL, combine with the lysosomes. The hydrolases in the lysosomes degrade the LDL and release the cholesterol. The cholesterol inside the cell is used for various metabolic purposes such as membrane synthesis, production of steroid hormone, bile acids, etc. The LDL receptor, if you see here, are not catabolized and are returned to the cell surface. Regulation of LDL receptors. Upregulation of LDL receptor means whenever the intracellular cholesterol level decreases, the LDL receptor gene expression is induced, leading to increased LDL receptors on cell surface, and this leads to an increased uptake of cholesterol by the cell. While downregulation means whenever the intracellular cholesterol is high, LDL receptor gene expression is repressed, leading to decrease in number of LDL receptor on cell surface, and that leads to a decrease in cholesterol intake by the cell. LDL receptors on macrophages. Phagocytic macrophages have non-specific receptors known as scavenger receptors, which recognizes LDL that have been chemically modified, such as oxidized LDL. If you see here in this picture, this is the macrophage. They are having non-specific receptors as scavenger receptors. They can recognize the oxidized LDL. If you see here, the native LDL in presence of reactive oxygen species forms the oxidized LDL. Such modified LDL are taken up by the macrophages. In contrast to the LDL receptor, the The scavenger receptors are unregulated, which allows the cell to take up oxidized LDL. After a long time, it results in elevated intracellular LDL cholesterol in these macrophages. So when these macrophages become engorged with cholesterol ester, they are called foam cells. Foam cells are also called as lipid-laden macrophages. So as they go on accumulating the modified LDL, they become the foam cells. These can form a plaque that leads to atherosclerosis and trigger heart attacks and stroke. LDL cholesterol is bad cholesterol. LDL-rich macrophages, those are the foam cells, they migrate into the endothelium and induce inflammation and chemotaxis to initiate the formation of atherosclerotic plaques and possibly thrombosis. If you see here, this is a normal one, and slowly the cholesterol start getting deposited in the lining of artery, and they go on building up, and later on they form the atherosclerotic plaques. So high level of LDL cholesterol raise risk for heart disease and stroke. So LDL cholesterol is called as bad cholesterol. This is just to show you the difference between VLDL and LDL. If you see in VLDL, triglyceride concentration is more in compared to cholesterol esters and cholesterol, and it requires ApoB100, ApoC2 and ApoE. And if you compare with LDL, the size of VLDL is larger because of more amount of triacylglycerol. While here, if you see, LDL is having more amount of cholesterol ester and cholesterol in compared to triacylglycerol. And here there is only one apolipoprotein, that is ApoB100. So this is just to show you the difference between VLDL and LDL. So that was about the metabolism of VLDL and LDL. Thank you so much. Those who haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and do like my video.